Rather lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into William Saliba's interviews with Canal Plus and Sky Sports as well. Of course, having these very good performances over the last five games, over the last 7 games, and then I think it's a month or two in the in the UK. He's really done very well. The media are absolutely all over him. So he was asked whether he's going to be signing a new deal, whether there is a future of him staying at Arsenal for a very long time. And he told Sky Sports, "I love this place. I love Arsenal, and I definitely think I'm going to be staying here." Hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the podcast as well. How long should William Saliba's contract be, in your opinion? Should it be 5 more years, 6 more years? I mean, the likes of Madrid and Barcelona are doing it very well. They're giving the likes of Gavi, the likes of Pedri, the likes of Vinicius Jr. 6 more years with a 1 billion release clause. Now, that shows you the intention of the club not to sell this player, not now, not even in the future. Look, Arsenal are not yet there with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona in terms of revenue, so we will need some player sales at some point in time. But selling, keeping the likes of William Saliba in the squad, keeping the likes of Martin Odegaard in the squad will definitely strengthen us, and not the other way around. So let's start off with his interviews with Canal Plus. First and foremost, he was asked about representing France at the World Cup, and he said it's a dream to be selected for France, and once you've been selected once, you just have one wish, and it is always to be in each team meeting, because it is incredible to represent your country. Look, at that age, I think Thomas Frank yesterday put it very, very clearly that that William Saliba is going to be a very important player for France, and that is a big country. That is a big national team. So at this age, 22, 21, being selected for France regularly with the likes of Jules Koundé, because Jules Koundé is again a top centre back. You have the likes of Samuel Umtiti who have fallen off the cliff. You have the likes of Rafa Varane who are still there. There's so many good centre backs. Kimpembe. There's so many good centre backs, senior centre backs at France. With the France national team. So the fact that he's being called up, the fact that he's almost guaranteed a call up every time we go into the international break, every time there is an international competition, the national team is gonna call him. Didier Deschamps is a very big fan of him, and I think we are lucky, and I think he's lucky because look, he told Arsenal that he wants to be sure he's gonna be in the France national team before he can commit his future to our side. We've given him 7 games. He's really done very well. The manager's done very, very well with him. And for me, it would be absolutely nuts, just like Tite on Brazil, not to call him up, not to give him a call up for France, unless he picks up an injury that is serious, unless otherwise. William Saliba should be one of the first 5 centre backs to be called up for the France national team for the World Cup. Jules Koundé, William Saliba, Presnel Kimpembe, Rafa Varane as well, and probably, and any others that will be called up. But look, I'm happy for him that he's being called up for France, and I'm so happy that he's one of the major names being looked at for the World Cup. It's a major tournament at his age. If he starts playing the World Cup at 21, 22, how many is he gonna play? Like 5. Like 6 World Cups, and that is going to be that just adds a lot of value to him. To Saliba on his World Cup hopes, he says it depends a lot on a lot of things. Playing well at Arsenal improves my chances, but it guarantees nothing. You always have to do more, and of course there are lots of French central defenders. In my case, I'm going to give everything to be there. He will be there. Honestly, he will be there. Look, there's so many good centre backs. I think he's right there, but there are not so many centre backs playing in the Premier League, and playing in the Premier League at a top level and convincing everyone that you're one of the best in the game right now, that convincing everyone that you're one of the best in Europe. I think Didier Deschamps is having it quite easy on his plate to call William Saliba, because listen, it is unless you're Gareth Southgate, because with Southgate he keeps players based on the fact that they've been called up before, rather than on merit and form. With Didier Deschamps, if you're that kind of manager, call players based on the fact that they are good, they're doing well, and they're in form, then Saliba should have no worries. For me, he will make it to the World Cup. William Saliba also says, it makes me happy when the fans chant my name at Arsenal. Since the Bournemouth game, they've been singing it every match. It gives me a lot of strength, and it makes me want to give something back by playing well. It's it's sung in the dressing room every week, just to tease me. Look, I think we have a very good fan base. I think we have a very strong fan base at Arsenal, and everybody knows that. You check our YouTube channels. There are not so many people who are sarcastic against this football club, and even the few sarcastic, gooners, the few, the few corners of sarcasm were created because of the 6 years without European football, without Champions League. They were created because of the last 20 years where the team literally had no direction. We had the manager in Arsene Wenger who was told to focus on building the stadium, building the assets around the club. We had replacements of Arsene Wenger who literally had no direction for this football club. Unai Emery was focused on winning every game for this football club. He never focused on the mood. He never focused on the culture. He never focused on anything to bring the fans back. So honestly, anyone who could call us a toxic fan base because we called for the sacking of Unai Emery, we called for the sacking of Mikel Arteta, but we are not just a toxic fan base. We're a fan base that cares. We're a fan base that wants to see our captain taking the ship in the right direction. And the moment Mikel Arteta started doing that, clearing out Deadwood, bringing in players with a clear transfer policy, a clear vision, a clear style of play, a clear a clear plan. We realize that, and many of the Gunners now are behind the team. Now, don't blame all those Gunners who are 50, 60, 70 for not being convinced right now. They've seen the best days of this football club, but currently, almost every Arsenal player and manager has a song. You have a song for Mikel Arteta. You have a song for Saliba. You have a song for Tomiyasu had a chant as well. For me, it's just glorious. It's just absolutely glorious with the fan base we have at this football club. Right. Speaking on his goal that he scored against Brentford, he says it was a beautiful goal. It was great to score my first goal for Arsenal. I'm refining my shooting boots a bit because I'm a defender. It had been a while since I had a shot. I'm hoping to score many more goals like that. Yeah, that was a wonder strike. Of course, players like William Saliba, ball-playing centre-backs, courageous centre-backs, talented centre-backs give you a lot. The fact that he's in that position at that point in time, because it is Xhaka that should be there or Thomas Partey, then Saliba should be behind Xhaka and Thomas Partey. But the confidence, and of course, look, when you're talented, it comes in handy. So the fact that he's there, first and foremost, it's just beautiful. He's not afraid to take up those advanced areas. He's not afraid to take a shot. You've seen it already in corners. He's has he scored one goal? 2 goals now. Yeah, and 1 assist for Gabriel Magalhaes in the Fulham game. So the fact that he's getting deep, in advanced areas, just shows you the quality he has as a centre back. And this is a player who's still a little bit timid, is afraid to take a few steps forward, is afraid to make a mistake. If he becomes the age of Virgil van Dijk, the age of the likes of Joe Matip, he's going to be a better centre back, because then he will know how to count his bearings. He will know when I go up front, this is what I do. This is how I track back. ABCD is going to be tracking for me. And if he's not, then I don't need to go. But for me, that goal was a beauty. It just symbolizes the quality he adds to us. He allows us play high up the pitch, right? Because the ball's playing centre back. It's the same with Ben White. It's the same with Gabriel Magalhaes. They're not afraid. They don't quake when when they're asked to play a high line. And whenever your centre backs are playing high line, literally it pushes more bodies forward for your team. So William Saliba, that is one of the key additions he's added to this team. On his own goal against Leicester, it says it was all going well. Then it's a pain when you score an own goal. There is still time left, so you can't give up. If you win, the own goal doesn't matter as much. Luckily, it went well. Next week, I scored at the right end. Look, the fans again. I mean, a lot of support goes to the fans, because when one of your youngest centre backs scores an own goal, there's going to be a lot of criticism, especially from this Rafa Varane is the best French centre back in the Premier League fans, Man United. You're going to have a lot of criticism from Spurs fans, because we are literally 2.6 miles away from each other, 6 kilometers apart. So you're going to have a lot of banter. But the Arsenal fans, I'll give them a lot of credit in that scenario. They kept on singing, they kept on praising William Saliba, because that own goal literally took away nothing from the performances. He had really given us all his best, and we know the quality that he has to his football club. So for me, the Leicester City goal means nothing. Just like we talked about it, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. William Saliba on Mikel Arteta, and he says, we spoke at the beginning of the season. He was happy with what I did on loan. He's a very good coach who really knows what he's doing. He helped me integrate quickly into the system. Every day he gives me advice to get better on the pitch. This is where all of us were wrong on Mikel Arteta and William Saliba. I think it is true. William Saliba, had the quality to play in this team ahead of Ben White. He had the quality to play in this team ahead of Gabriel Magalhaes, because he signed before Gabriel signed. But the truth is, the performances we're seeing right now are courtesy of Mikel Arteta being patient with William Saliba, and also the decisions to take him back to France, loan him back to France, other than the Championship, which has more games, which gives you almost that kind of real feeling of the Premier League. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, because he understood he's still growing, so he needs the right environment. And which better way to get the right environment for a young centre back than in his own country, than in a league that has brought him up. And that is where Arteta got it right. He took him back to France 3 times. He sent him back on loan to France 3 times. And all of us were fuming. I still remember I was absolutely fuming, because I didn't understand Arsenal splashing 50 million on a centre back while we had Saliba, right? And we were not even giving him a chance. And Saliba was disappointed as well, because if you remember his interviews and what he said, he was really saying, they chased me away without giving me a chance. They don't believe in me, this and that. But Fabrizio Romano today has just said that Mikel Arteta and Edu were never thinking about selling William Saliba, and they were always convinced about keeping him 100% against all clubs, against all costs, because the big clubs actually wanted him. So I think he got that right, Mikel. He really, really got that right. And William says, I came back here to Arsenal to impose myself since and it's nice to start well as we've had a very good start to the season until the match against Manchester United. We were fast and we want to continue being like that. Imposing himself, he's done that. The quality he has just guarantees him to be an Arsenal starter. He's hard working. That is one of the things you must have as a top talent. You must be hardworking, you must have the discipline, and you must have the urge to keep on getting better. I think he has the 3. You see him every game, he's working harder, right? On his impact in the final third, and also on his impact defensively. And then the discipline is not one of the centre backs that just pick up a yellow card, just pick up a red card, all this nonsense kind of stuff. I think is disciplinary wise, we can't even bet that he's better than Gabriel Magalhaes, because Magalhaes can lose his head at times, right? It happens with the Brazilians, honestly. But William Saliba has to a degree better discipline, at least some kind of degree of discipline that allows you play and thrive in the Premier League. So that is William Saliba and his interview at Canal Plus. Very, very insightful there. So today we were speaking to Sky as well ahead of his international duties, and he was asked about signing a new deal. Is he going to sign a new deal? Is he going to stay with this Arsenal side? What is it going to be? And he said, currently, my focus is on Arsenal. I feel at home here. I feel loved, and I want to stay. So there is a rumor that he's already signed his contract. However, we cannot give guarantee to that, because even the Bukayo Saka contract that should be announced by now has not been announced yet. So I cannot really say that he signed a new deal. But what I'm really sure about is he will pen a new deal at Arsenal. I think the part of convincing him to stay is done. And even if Mikel Arteta wants to drop him after signing a new deal, he cannot. He definitely cannot. And that's why, you see, Mikel has been forced to find a new role for Ben White, because he bought Ben White for 50 million pounds. I don't think Ben White is getting out of this Arsenal team anytime soon. He's not going anywhere. The reason is Mikel asked for Ben White. The team spent 50 million pounds on Ben White. We could have gone for a cheaper centre back, but Mikel Arteta insisted we go with Ben White. So there is no way he drops him. There is no way he drops him and makes him a squad player. So Ben White, William Saliba, and Gabriel Magalhaes are all going to be starters for me this season. And then Takehiro Tomiyasu, given his versatility, can come in for William Saliba, can replace Ben White, and can also replace anyone in that back four, right? That is why I think it's better to use Tomiyasu on the bench, and that's why that is what Mikel Arteta has done. So a new contract for me is on the cards for William Saliba. If he signs it, it should be until at least 2027. 5 more years. You can't afford to give your one of your best centre backs, youngest centre back, in that back line. And then you give him 3 years, 4 years, just make it 5. Yeah, let's make it 5. I don't think English clubs do release clauses, but if there is a chance of inserting a 1 billion release clause, we should actually do that. Of course, I'll be doing a video about William Saliba, 6 things we've learned from William Saliba so far, 6 things we've learned from Gabriel Jesus, and all the new signings and all the Arsenal players this season. We will be reviewing each and every player's performance. So keep locked in on Courses Arsenal podcast, and I'll see you soon.